Am I wrong for telling my sister that having another baby would be a dumb idea? Sister and brother-in-law, both 28, have been married 2 years and have a 4-year-old child. Recently, their marriage has been on the rocks because of some issues that I will not disclose in detail, but they have to do with brother-in-law not being sure of his feelings for my sister, and my sister wants to try and save it by having another child with my brother-in-law. When she confessed this to me, I was pretty much horrified, and I think she could tell what I thought. But just to be sure, I told her that her idea was pretty dumb, because if it didn't work, she would have to raise 2 children alone on her small monthly salary instead of just the one that she has right now. And even if he did decide to stay, their issue would still be unresolved and would eventually come up again. I suggested discussing things with him and eventually trying marriage counseling if he does decide to stay, but I could tell that she was hurt and not convinced. Was I too harsh? OP is definitely not the a-hole. I don't understand people who have kids because they think that the child is going to save their marriage. If you communicating and talking to the person doesn't save your marriage, why would an innocent poor child save your marriage? And at the end of the day, it's gonna be crazy when that man leaves you, and now you're gonna be resentful and hateful towards that poor baby because apparently you only had it to save your marriage, and the baby didn't save your marriage because babies don't save marriages. They're literal human beings that come with a lot of responsibilities. And if you're not ready for that commitment and responsibility, then don't have the baby. Because babies are human beings. I don't understand people. I feel like sometimes people act like children are just some toys that you buy from Toys R Us. And then you could just fiddle with. And then if you don't like, you could just treat however you want it to treat. They don't act like kids are human beings that you have to be committed to, that have so much things going on that you have to have a lot of patience, a lot of just responsibilities that you have to take care of. Oh, I'm gonna have a baby because my man doesn't want to be with me no more, so in order for him to be with me, I'm gonna have a baby to make him stay. Do you see how you sound? And I'm so glad OP told her sister the reality because she sounds dumb. Am I wrong for canceling my aunt's invitation to my wedding when she traveled the world to attend it? My husband and I, 26 female, got married 3 weeks ago. My husband is from South Africa, but I am French, so our wedding in the savannah in South Africa was a huge trip for 13 fresh guests. We rented a beautiful lodge where you see lions, elephants, etc. And to thank everyone for coming all this way, we rented it for 2 days. Day 1, wedding. Day 2, pool party. We only invited 30 people, the people we love. I had a huge argument with my aunt, 38 female, 8 years ago, and we cut ties ever since. But doing the invitations, I thought about how close we used to be. I decided to invite her. There was no +1 for anyone, so I only invited my aunt, not her partner or her kid, since I barely knew their names. My aunt said she was happy but insisted that we invite them. I told her no, but my mom teamed up with her and pressured me a lot during the year. I explained that the ceremony meant everything to us and that we only want people we love to be present. But my aunt booked flights for her but also for her family. She said it was a family trip but added that she heard some of my guests canceled so that there is now space for her family. I told her that it would not be happening but that her family could join us for the pool party the next day. After that, I got even more pressured by mom into inviting them for the wedding itself because they are coming all this way. But I kept refusing and tried to finish my dress without my mom. On the big day after the ceremony, my husband and I left for an hour in the savannah with the photographers to make a few photos. As soon as we came back to the lodge, my aunt came to me smirking. She was holding her kid. Her partner was behind her. I'm not the scandal type. I didn't know how to react, and in my disbelief, I kissed the kid hello and shook head with her partner. I immediately felt sad for not defending myself. I then heard my mom and grandma telling my aunt about the extra chairs and food we had and that her family must stay for dinner. My sister lied for me, saying we don't have enough chairs because some are broken. So my aunt announced that they were leaving. I asked why leaving with them. She was supposed to stay for dinner and they're only 5 minutes away. She replied that she never intended to stay for dinner, but that she will spend time with us when they come back tomorrow for the pool party. I was shocked. I replied that I had a change of plans and that she and her family could not come for the next day anymore. My mom, usually lovely, lost it and told me that I had no right to cancel my aunt's invitation to the pool party. I reminded her that we paid for the whole wedding and ourselves and that she has no say in who I host. And I walked away, but she yelled at my back in front of everyone. She was screaming that the conversation was now over and that I better come back. My sister tried to physically bar my mom from running after me. I still stood my ground and kept my aunt from coming back the next day. Am I the a-hole? I personally think OP is definitely the a-hole because when she told the aunt, oh, she can come to the wedding, and the aunt said, I'm going to bring my family, she could have just simply said, no, I don't want you to do that. Don't come then. And she just should have just revoked her invitation because clearly the aunt and her were not, it's not like the aunt and her were close to begin with. So her feelings didn't matter to OP, obviously. But why would she invite the lady to come all the way down there, spend all that money, and then revoke her invitation to the thing that she actually invited her to, which was the pool party after the wedding? I don't get it. Like, OP just doing way too much. Am I wrong for refusing to pay for the damages caused by my sister-in-law proving a point? My boyfriend and I, 23 female, are currently taking care of Nina, 15 female, my boyfriend's half-sister because her parents will be out of town for a couple of months. I'm an average build, but most of my paternal side are very tall and heavily built. Nina is not short, but she's willowy, and she looks very delicate and fine-boned. Nina has been doing a couple of forms of martial arts since she was 7 or 8. A couple days ago, I took Nina with me to pick up a few things at my uncle's. My cousin Ted arrived early from another city, so we stayed so I could catch up with them a bit. Everyone welcomed Nina and asked her how was her life in another city and her hobbies and whatnot. My cousins Ted, 22 male, and Cole, 17 male, were openly staring when Nina told him that she does martial arts. Ted used to wrestle in high school, and Cole is on his school's varsity team. They said it was great she took martial arts to defend herself, but suggested a couple objects as she could use against really big, strong guys she may be unable to handle. Nina said sizes don't matter and she can protect herself against attackers of all kinds. Again, Ted and Cole stared at her and asked if she seriously thought she could protect herself against someone their sizes. Ted was 6'4" and Cole was 6'3", both over 200 pounds. Cole then asked Nina to go to the living room and told her to try to fend him off. We watched as Nina dodged Cole's grabs until he managed to hold her ankle and brought her down. She tripped him and in return tried to shake him off while he tried to pull her to him. In the process, they pulled the rug, which upset a table, knocking it into another table, and the vase on it fell to the floor broken. My aunt came downstairs and gave everyone involved a scolding, telling them that the house was no place for fight. She then said Cole and I owed her a new vase. I told her that this was all on Cole, who suggested they fight in the first place. Cole also said it was on him, but my aunt wouldn't have it. She said that this was a teaching moment for Nina to own up to her mistakes. Nina offered to pay, but I refused to let her pay. Ted stepped in and said he got his mom a new vase for Christmas, so this was a perfect timing and there was no need to make this a big deal. Nina and I left, and my boyfriend agreed we shouldn't have to pay. My aunt later called me and said I was being selfish and that the vase wasn't even expensive, but it was the principle of things that when you broke stuff, you need to take responsibilities. Am I the a-hole? I feel like OP would have been the a-hole had Nina said, oh, let's go to the living room and I'll show you guys what I can do. Then that would be like, she's the one who suggested it. But the boy suggested it. He's a grown man and he should know better to rough house in the house when things can be easily broken. So I don't think OP is wrong at all.